Something that I hear from all customers is, I want thought leadership. I'm still trying to figure out what they mean, but I suppose that they mean they want to be a leader of thoughts. And so, one of the questions that I ask to myself, to not be rude, I don't ask out loud, is one, do you have thoughts? And two, are you a leader? And if so, you will be able to create this. Because being a thought leader is a good aspiration, I suppose, but is a lot of hard work. Because today we live in such a noisy world that before you become a thought leader, your thoughts must get attention. And a lot of thought leadership is about managing attention. So if you want to stand out in this world, first figure out how to get someone's attention. Now, the easiest thing is to be sensational. So, excluding doing that, how can your thinking, how can your point of view, how can your, let's say, intelligence or creativity be able to grab people's attention? After you get people's attention, that's the time that you've created a platform for yourself to actually deliver your thoughts, and therefore for people to look at you as a thought leader. So being a thought leader is not something you want, it's a title that somebody else gives. The only thing that you could want is, I want to be able to create a platform that I can gain attention from, where I can say things which I find and I believe that people will find useful, find valuable, and therefore I want to be able to give those perspectives. But as you do that, one of the most important things of trying to build a thought leadership image is actually choosing your audience. If you choose your audience well, then you are going to be able to deliver messages to them that have value. If you don't care about your audience and you're generally going to talk to everyone, then you will find that half of the people care about what you say and half of the people find it idiotic. So it's better to actually create a smaller tribe for yourself than trying to go after everyone. In fact, have your message choose your audience. What do you want to talk about? What are you going to say? Who is it going to impact, and who will really even care for listening to it? And don't worry about the size of the audience, whether it is 1 million people or 1,000 people. Worry about the level of depth of relationship that you have with them. Because that's what thought leadership is going to create. It's not about how many followers you have on Instagram, it's how many people really care about what you have to say and how many true relationships that you have. And building thought leadership is completely different than building awareness. If we are talking about awareness, having 1 million followers on Instagram is great awareness. We are talking about thought leadership. We want to talk about just 20 or 30 or 50 people who believe in what you're saying and who use what you're saying as a logic in their life. That's what it means. That do they find what you say useful, valuable, and do they actually apply it in their life? Because the times that they apply your learning is the time that they think about you. And that is the type of positioning that you've taken in their mind, which makes you a leader in their thoughts and therefore a thought leader. And coming back to the fact that you don't create a thought, you don't want to become a thought leader, people make you a thought leader. And there's a podcast which I often listen to, which is Chris Lockett's podcast, and you should listen to it on Spotify. One of the things he talks about is content and the content pyramid, and he talks about the fact that initially it's all about just absorbing, listening, and then it's about curating, where you start sharing other people's thoughts. And then he has a very interesting top of the pyramid. One is people who talk about obvious things, which means basically it's the same wine, different bottle. So I kind of take things that people have said and turn it into my own words and put it out, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's basically obvious content. Or the real leaders of thinking are able to create unobvious thought, a new POV, a new way of thinking, something that people have never really even thought about. In his podcast, Chris Lockhead calls it category creation, because that's what the podcast is about. But it's also the birth of thought leadership, is at the top of that pyramid, where you are able to create unobvious, new, interesting, thought-provoking content. Now, this also requires something more than just you being a leader and you having thoughts. It requires you to have a point of view on the world, or whatever you're talking about. Because without which, You will create no perception. Your point of view then will be supported by your content, which provides a frame of reference to people. And those frames of references then become the tools that when people are in that situation, they think about you, think about your point of view, and try to apply it. And therefore, making you a leader in their thoughts. And coming back to what I've been saying, making you a thought leader. So the first step is to think about what you think about really deeply. What do you believe? A point of view should allow for agreement and disagreement. It's not a conclusive statement, and it's not just acknowledgement. Your intention should be able to spark conversation around your POV. As you grow, you will start to stake claim on that point of view. For example, Simon Sinek's three golden circles: what, how, and at the center, why. Can there be agreement and disagreement? Yes. Is it a point of view and a tool that people can use no matter what industry, whether professional, personal? Yes. That's why every time you're dealt with a problem of, okay, how do I define what I'm doing, whether it's at work or life, that frame of reference reminds you of Simon Sinek's golden circles. And then you use those golden circles and apply it in your life. And that's why Simon Sinek is now leading your thoughts and therefore a thought leader. The leadership perception needs to move beyond the person and more towards connecting to your POV. For example, many people may know the golden circles of what, how, why, and may not remember who actually did it. Because now the POV has superseded the person. Many things like this, for example, who created the blue ocean? Who created the long tail strategy? I don't know. That concept is something that's larger than the person who created it themselves. Gravity, also, velocity, inertia, all these things. And when you look at these theorems and you look at these points of views on the world, you often forget who invented them. It is important for you to believe so deeply in your point of view and keep on making sure that you're managing attention of people to give them different perspectives on that point of view, so that you can create frames of references, situations that they should use that point of view in. Then they will continue to think about that point of view every time they find themselves in that frame of reference. In fact, one of the key aspects of leadership is to be able to manage attention. Will people want to listen to you? And if people want to listen to you, then do you have something to say? And if you have something to say, is it interesting enough for them to have a thought around it? And if it's interesting enough for them to have a thought around it, have you built enough references for them to use it in their life? And if they can use it in their life, they'll continue to think about you much past the interaction that they've had with you. And therefore, you will always be there in their thoughts. And whenever that situation comes and a frame of reference is presented, you will be the person, or your point of view will be the aspect that's going to be leading their thoughts. And coming back again, that is actually thought leadership. So, building a small community and building deeper bonds with them is really the name of the game. It's not about building a large community for awareness, it's about building a small community of advocates and people who love what you think, like, and what you talk about. You'll build your own tribe, and that tribe will go and recruit others. I am very certain that the people who have seen Simon Sinek's TEDx talk on the golden circles have done more marketing and have had raised more awareness about those golden circles than Simon Sinek himself has. Because if you build a small tribe and you give them something that they believe in and something that they can use, they will go and recruit more members of the tribe faster than you could with any type of marketing. So the next time you want to become a thought leader, also understand and realize all the hard work that is going to go behind doing it. And if you're not ready to do the hard work and you just want the awareness, it's quite easy. And please go to your most local social media agency and give them a lot of money, and they'll make your awareness high. But no agency, no consultant, no team can make you a thought leader. Thought leadership starts with you. It starts with your commitment to wanting to work hard to actually have a point of view and being able to give it to people. And then, of course, people can make it bigger and people can help you market it, and your own tribe will go and recruit more people to talk about it. But remember that thought leadership is a long-term game. So the next time you go to your agency or a team with an objective like, I want to become a thought leader, Don't get angry when you feel like they're smirking behind the stoic face that they give you as they take down your brief. Something to think about.